Hello everybody, welcome to the sanctuary. This is Mark on Monday. Want to start off, of course, by reading the Great Commandments. These are what this foundation of this organization or church is built upon. It's what God is built upon. It's what Jesus said to do. And it's pretty simple, pretty easy thing that we as human beings have to do, but of course, we fail. Anyways, I'm going to start off with reading the Great Commandments. Okay, this is Matthew 22, verses 36 through 40. And it reads, Master, which is the great commandment in the law? Now, when he's talking about great commandment, he's saying that these are the commandments over everything, over the whole Bible. These commandments are over everything. If you just do these two things, you do the whole Bible, is what God is saying, what Jesus is saying. So let's go back. Matthew 22, 36 through 40. Master, which is the great commandment in the law? Jesus said unto him, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. This is the first and great commandment. That's number one. Love God first. And the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. Your neighbor is your neighbor. Whoever you run into on a daily basis, you should love as yourself. On these two commandments hang all the laws and the prophets. So all the laws that God has ever made, all the prophets that's ever been in the Bible, can be done with those two laws. But of course, mankind can't even seem to get that right. So anyways, the reason why I'm coming to you, I've been talking about love, and God is love. God made love. He made everything that is good in this world. You got to understand that. God makes all good, the devil makes all evil. So when something goes bad in your life, don't say, why did God let that happen? God didn't let it happen. The devil is the chief prince of this world. He took Jesus on the mountain and said, hey, I'll give you this whole world if you will bow down and worship me. You can't give somebody something you don't own. The devil owns this world. So anything evil is of the devil. Anything good comes from our Heavenly Father above. And without Him, nothing is. So you better start loving God, because to be absent of God is to be nothingness. Unless you want to become to that point of nothingness, you better get into the program. So, anywho, moving on with the lesson today. I guess the main point of that is you got to love. If you don't love, then there's bitterness or hate somewhere in you, and you need to get that worked out. So, moving on with the lesson. I know I'm late this week on the message. But I've been really wanting to sit down and talk about what's going on in America. I watched the Republican debate last night. And it was a pretty good debate. Pretty average. I mean, better than the other ones in my view, because people actually made sense last night. They actually talked about things that in a reasonable, sincere fashion that people could understand. So, that being said, I did watch the two debates last night. There was some particular questions that I had. One of the things was that they talked about the water systems in America, in the environment, and it seems like, they did not really care too much about doing things to increase our environment. And they thought that was a liberal agenda and sort of that kind of nature. But if you're a Christian and you love God, that's not a liberal agenda. That is your agenda. You need to take care of this earth. Why? Because God told you to. And if you go back to Genesis chapter 1, verse 26, and God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion. What is dominion? Dominion is control, power over. So let man have control or power over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all, not part of it, all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. So what God do? He gave mankind dominion, power over this earth. So if your agenda on a political format is not to take care of our environment, you talk to God about it, because He told you to. What you do with it is up to you. So that was a question I had about the debate last night, is that they just didn't care too much about our environment. And as you can see, our environment looks like it hasn't been taken care of, because we sure are getting some El Ninos and funny storms coming about that you can't say is not part of some greater proportion or greater thing. So it's your job to take care of the earth. Make sure that your city water is clean. Make sure that they're not polluting the fish. The farmers, I live in rural Tennessee, and trust me, most of these farmers got more money than Carter's got peanuts. But who am I to say? I mean, I only see $500 million worth of equipment sitting out there on their big acreage of farms, you know. They're always saying, pity me, pity me, pity me. But most of it is industrial farming anyways. There is not no small-time farmer anymore. Most of it is owned by corporations or big-scale farming or something of that nature. Millionaires making more money. Of course, you know, why not? You know, they need all the money. Have you even looked? I looked the other day at the top 200 billionaires. You know, and it starts off at like, I think it's like 1 billion plus, you know, it starts off at 200. And these people are in America. And then it goes all the way to Bill Gates, and he had something like 76 or 78 billion dollars. And I'm thinking to myself, how long would $1 billion last an average person? I shouldn't phrase it like that, because $1 billion would last an average person probably, I'm going to guess, probably at least 500 lifetimes. Probably even more than that, but I'm just saying 500 lifetimes to make it a good general thing. But they're not the problem. They have no problem. It's that way in America. And it kind of frustrates me, because people in religious formats preach that capitalism is a godly principle. And people believe that capitalism is a godly principle. But if you read the book, and if you know God, the only people, there is no better off. The only people that are better off would be the elect, which is 140,000, 44,000 I think, 144,000. They're better off because if you read the book of Ezekiel, they own the whole thing. Each other one will be allotted his portion in the millennium. So you got the millennium period, everybody's going to be allotted their portion. The elect are the only ones that are going to be able to go in and out of the temple, and they go out and teach the priest, which the priest then teach the people. The elect own it all. There is no capitalism. There is no I'm better than you, or you're better than me, or, you know, I need more than you need, or you need less than I do, or whatever you go off and believe that mankind has taught you that is important to you. Capitalism is not in God's kingdom. It's a monarchy. He's in charge. He makes up the rules. You can't say nothing about it. If you don't like it, you get out. That's just how it is. Sin will not live in God's kingdom. So there is is no capitalism. So all you people out there thinking that it's going to be a capitalistic world in God's kingdom, you're wrong. Everybody's the same. The thing about God's kingdom is love. There's love. It doesn't matter to you. It doesn't matter to me. Why would it matter to me if I got $5 billion in the bank and the guy next to me can't afford to eat? I never understood that. It blows my mind the lack of concern the rich man has for the poor man. It blows my mind the lack of concern that we have in this country for the well-being of our people. They say that there's more people in our country living in depression. Well, they live in depression because they've been repressed by the rich, by the powerful. You notice how one set of rules applies to the rich man and another set of rules applies to everybody else. When Warren Buffett went to jail, did he go to jail? No. He went to a country club, he's still there, where he can play, tennis and shuffleboard and swim and, oh my word, it's so horrible the prison that he went in. It's a bunch of crap. This is the things that the people are getting tired of and what the United States government and our society cannot figure out. They can't figure out why it's come to a head. Well, it's come to a head because people are sick and tired of being sick and tired of being sick and tired. We're tired of being abused. We're tired of being used. We're tired of being thought of as nothing, an afterthought. We are not slaves to your labor. You know what it would do to our workforce if everybody just stopped working one day? Just shut the whole country down one day. Do you know how well that would take care of some problems? How you would gain people's attention, the powerful people? Oh well, I digress. Anyways, so moving on. So as far as our earth goes, you're required to take care of the environment. I do most of my teaching out of Matthew because Matthew, I feel, you can cover the whole book with Matthew, the whole thing. Matthew, just to me, it's just a wonderful book. So anyways, I'm going to go to Matthew 5 and 43. So we're going to Matthew 5 and 43. All right. Matthew 5 and 43. And it says, Ye have heard that it has been said that thou shalt love thy neighbor and hate thy enemy. But I say unto you, love your enemies. Bless them that curse you. Do good to them that hate you. And pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you, that ye may be the children of your Father which is in heaven. For he maketh the sun to rise on the evil and on the good, and sendeth rain on the just and on the unjust. For if ye love them which love you, what reward have ye? Do not even the publicans the same? And if ye salute your brethren, only what do ye more than others? Do not even the publicans do so? Be ye there perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect. I mention this because at the debate, I heard $1 trillion more into our war budget. $1 trillion more to fight our enemies. And the problem that we've had, I'm a 100% disabled vet. I have fought in the Gulf War. I have been to war. I have seen war. And any man, I don't care if you're John McCain or whoever, if you are a Christian man and a God-fearing man and a loving man, and you've been to war, and you're sitting there talking about going back to war, there's a problem. War should be our last resort at all times. We should not want to send anybody into harm's way. So sitting there talking about adding another $1 trillion to take care of ISIS, why do we have ISIS? Because we made ISIS. That's why. The problem is we have forgot the basic. Love. Love is the basic. When we used to fight wars and we fought them because people were being oppressed or being sought out and killed by genocide or whatever, when we went to war for the proper reasons, God blessed us. But when you go doing the devil's bidding, don't expect God to bless the devil's bidding. So love thy enemy. That's what God says. All right, moving on. Matthew 19 and 16. Matthew 19 and 16, which we all have a problem with. This is something that the United States of America, our country, has a problem with. All right. Matthew 19 and 16. And behold, one came and said unto him, Good master, what good thing should I do that I may have eternal life? And he said unto him, Why callest thou me good? There is none good but one, that is God. But if thou wilt enter into life, keep the commandment. He said unto him, Which? Jesus said. He said unto him, Which? Like, which one? Which commandments do I keep? Jesus said, Thou shalt do no murder. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness. Honor thy father and thy mother, and thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. The young man said unto him, All these things have I kept. I've done all these things. I have loved all. That's what I live my life for. I love. From the youth up, what lack I yet? So he said, I've kept these ever since I was a boy. What do I lack? Jesus said unto him, If thou wilt be perfect, go and sell that thou hast, and give to the poor, and thou shalt have treasure in heaven, and come follow me. So what he said was, go take everything that you own and give it to the poor, and you will have treasures in heaven. Follow me. Right there's the problem. The rich man never... Why does a person need $1 billion? Just $1 billion. Just $1 billion. Why do they need it? Do they not know the word of the Lord? And yet we condemn the poor and not the rich. We condemn the poor for being poor and having none. But we never condemn the rich that have it all. Riches, there is no good in it. Okay, now we're going to go to Matthew 16 and 5. Matthew 16 and 5. Okay, Matthew 16 and 5. And when the disciples were come to the other side, they had forgotten to take bread. Then Jesus said unto them, Take heed and beware of the leaven of the Pharisees and the Sadducees. And they reasoned among themselves, saying, It is because we have taken no bread. Which when Jesus perceived, he said unto them, O ye of little faith, why reason among yourselves, because ye have brought no bread? Do ye not yet understand, neither remember the 5 loaves of the 5,000, and how many baskets ye took up? Neither the 7 loaves of the 4,000, and how many baskets ye took up? How is it that ye do not understand that I speak it not to you concerning bread? that ye should beware of the leaven of the Pharisees and the Sadducees. Who was the Pharisees and the Sadducees at this time? The Pharisees and the Sadducees were the people in charge of religion. No different than the Catholic Church, the Baptist Church. You know them. You can name them just as well as I can. You know all the religious organizations out here. And what did Jesus say? Beware of them. Why are you to beware of them? Because they teach you stuff like, if you don't wear long dresses, you ain't getting to heaven. Or if you drink wine, you ain't getting to heaven. Or if you listen to rock and roll, you ain't getting into heaven. Or if you smoke marijuana, you ain't getting into heaven. All these things are lies brought onto the devil to put more rules and regulations on you so you can't get into heaven. People give up because it's too hard. God did not come here to put you in jail. He came here to set you free, and free indeed. Because love, when you operate under love, there is no rules or bars that can hold you. When you operate out of the goodness of faith in your heart through the Spirit of the Lord Jesus Christ, there's no rules that can be barred. No one can understand love. Love is confusing to this world. You have to seek it from the Lord. You have to ask for it. You have to be set-minded and determined, I am going to be a better man today than I was yesterday. I am going to love more today than I did yesterday. But only you can decide that. Only you can take control of your life. What you are, where you're at, the environment you are in, look in the mirror. That's where it all came from. Yes, some kids are born in rotty, crappy environments. Lord knows I wish that wouldn't happen in our society. It shouldn't happen. But guess what? We're too dumb to fix the problem. The whole point is, it doesn't matter what background you have, where you came from, the Lord will bless you. I've been blessed. I know I have. And by the grace of God, go I. But you have to make a decision on your own, whether you're going to love God or you're going to love this world. Because loving of this world will never get you into the kingdom of heaven. You have to hate this world. And that's my biggest problem, is I see all the sin and all the evil and all this stuff, and it breaks my heart and it tears me apart, and I cry about it, and it's just a horrible world in which we live in. But anyways, you need to know that the ones that are in charge are the ones that are leading you astray. So, to finish up, we're going to go to Matthew 15. Matthew 15, just a page over. Then came to Jesus scribes and Pharisees, which were of Jerusalem, saying, Why do the disciples transgress the traditions of the elders? For they wash not their hands when they eat bread. But he answered and said unto them, Why do ye also transgress the commandment of God by your tradition? For God commanded, saying, Honor thy father and thy mother, and he that curses father or mother, let him die the death. But ye say, Whosoever shall say to his father or his mother, It is a gift, by whosoever thou mightest be profit by me. And honor not his father or his mother, he shall be free. Thus have ye made the commandment of God of none effect by your tradition. Ye hypocrites, well did Isaiah prophesies of you, saying, These people draweth near. These people draweth near. Where was I at? Hang on, I'm sorry. Honor not his, let me go back to 6. And honor not his father and his mother, he shall be free. Thus have ye made the commandment of God of none effect by your traditions. Ye hypocrites, Well, did Isaiah prophesy of you, saying, These people draw near unto me, and with their mouth, and honor me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. But in vain they do worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men. Perfect example of what's going on today. You see all the people going to church. You ask them, oh, they know, they'll tell you, oh, how much they know about the Bible and how much they read the Bible. They know, most of them don't know the first thing about the Bible. Most of them couldn't even tell you that God's kingdom is a monarchy and not a capitalistic kingdom. Most people couldn't tell you the first thing about God's law, about His great commandments, that love is the answer. If these people don't start getting away from traditions and get their head back into the book and get their heart set back with God, there'll probably never be any hope. What I'm telling you is the right thing to do. The right thing to do is to love thy Lord, thy God, with all thy heart, with all thy mind, and with all thy soul. And to love everybody you meet on a daily basis like you love yourself. Care about your environment, care about the people around you, care about your city, your Congress, the whole thing. It takes one step at a time, but it takes you to make that first step. If everybody in the United States would take a step forward towards love, we could heal this nation. But if we don't heal this nation, revelation will come to pass. I thank you. I hope you have a blessed Monday, and we'll see you again.